There is a 4-year-old girl in a flat all alone, on the 23rd floor, and she can't work the phone. She's running out of food and she's too small to reach the cupboards. No one knows the truth. Her mum's thoughts have been muddled. Tendrils of darkness have crept up the walls. Her mum was in bed for a week and wouldn't answer her calls. And the day before the day before the day before this one, she woke up to find that her mother was gone. The first thought she has is, yes, TV all day. Nintendo Wii, what games can I play? Let's take all the cushions and make a fort. Her mother's absence are flickering on the edge of her thoughts. Day one comes to an end, and as the evening draws in, she hungrily makes light work of the biscuit tin. She wakes with a start, wipes the crumbs from her lips. The soft beat of her heart pulses her thumbs at the tips. She pads through the flat calling, "Mum, are you there?" She hears nothing back, nervously plays with her hair. She goes to the front door, but the latch is too high. She jumps from the floor, but just catches her side. On the edge of the door handle, and with tears in her eyes, she lets out a whimper and begins to cry. The sobs experience some interruption by an internal rumbling causing disruption. She's hungry again, so let's go find some food. The prospect of biscuits brightening her mood. Day two is over and she's eaten all the snacks. She falls asleep wondering if Mum's ever coming back. Day three begins the same way day two did, waking up with confusion rubbing sleep from her eyelids. She thinks back to that time when the first day when this seemed fun, and how it's hard being four when your mummy is gone. She screams at the front door, she kicks and she knocks, when all of a sudden a voice comes through the letterbox. "Mummy," she asks of this hole in the door. "No, darling, it's Maureen from flat 234. My mummy's not here, I don't know what to do. It'll be alright, darling, I'm sure she'll be back soon. Just stay calm and don't do anything silly, and if she's not back tomorrow, I'll get my Billy. He'll have this door open in a flash, and you can stay with us until your mum gets back." These tower communities won't call social services when they know that the authorities are not fit for the purposes of caring for the many and not just the few. And so they look after each other just as neighbours should do. There's a 4-year-old girl in a flat all alone, on the 23rd floor, and she can't work the phone. She's running out of food and she's too small to reach the cupboards. No one knows the truth. Her mum's thoughts have been muddled. Tendrils of darkness have crept up the walls. The air's getting dirty and no one will answer her calls. She's woken because the flat is getting too hot. She's turned on the taps but the water has stopped. Her legs are unsteady and she falls to her knees. She's starting to find it too hard to breathe. Her mum was found on the street, seeing things that weren't there. The police picked her up but they didn't care. 12-hour shifts and significant cuts meant that all of their sympathy has been used up. The first 48 hours in a cell she waited, until mental health nurses arrived and she was sedated, medicated and left in a room on her own. No one knowing her daughter was in the flat all alone. It took 2 more days for her to be assessed, and the doctor could see that she was visibly stressed. She'd overheard talk on the ward of a fire. She tries to explain to the doctor that the situation was dire. "I didn't know what I was doing, and I left my daughter behind. I'm so worried about her, I'm really losing my mind." A TV is brought in and the doctor turns on the news. Leaves her to watch as she soon learns the truth. The doctor comes in and says that he's made a few calls and he's received a list of those people who are in hospital. One of them is a small girl of 4, who was found in a flat all alone on the 23rd floor. She's asleep at the moment, but the future looks brighter, and the doctor arranges for mother and daughter to be reunited. As the weeks progress on and the situation unfurls, it turns out not everyone was as lucky as this little girl. Most of the top floors were completely destroyed and are filled with the bodies of men, women, girls and boys. Maureen and Billy are amongst those who didn't make it. A deep feeling of guilt, and Fireman Mac, he can't shake it. He was left with a choice, a nigh on impossible one, and has to live with his decision that shouldn't have had to been done. His team of 30 has been cut down to 10, and that helped lead to the deaths of those boys, girls, women and men. At the end of this story, this is a poem, fiction to make you feel. But the fact of the matter is, this could have been real. Sentiments are all well and good at these times of disaster, but for this, and many other issues, the people deserve answers.